Oh, hello, and welcome to the Joy of Painting Middle-earth. I'm Timbo Took, and this is a time when we get together to paint the most fantastic landscapes Middle-earth has to offer, and maybe we'll paint a scary one a time or two. That can be quite fun, you know. Now, I may not be the best painter in the Shire, but I do love it so, and I'd love for you to paint right along with me. So if you're ready, grab your paints and your brushes, and let's go on an adventure. All right, and welcome to the Joy of Painting Middle-earth. I'm so excited today. It's been a very exciting week. You can see we've got the canvas a little bit prepared. We have this put down. There's a city here. We've just put the shadow in with some black acrylic gesso, and we'll go right on top of that. And why is it such a special painting today? Well, if you haven't heard that Amazon Prime is filming a new Lord of the Rings show, and they've released the first picture from the show this week, and so that's what we're going to be painting today. And we'll do some guesswork to try and figure out where or what it is. Now, I've got the canvas prepared. As I said, I put down that black gesso, and then in the sky I put down some of our magic white that, oh, Bob Ross the Blue, you know, the Blue Wizard, he used to come to the Shire once a week when I was just a boy and teach us all how to paint. Well, he taught us how to put that down, and that's what we're going to do today. We're going to paint this scene, and we'll talk about it as we go. So let's get right to it. We've got our colors here. We have some phthalo blue, some sap green, burnt umber, ivory black, bright red, cadmium lemon, yellow ochre, and of course titanium white. All right, so we're going to go into our sky first. We're going to put down the sky, and what we want to do, we're just going to mix up a sky color here real quick. So I'm just going to come with some of our titanium white. I'm going to put that right here, just using the palette knife to mix this up. And we're going to go to some cadmium lemon. That's what we have. Or cadmium yellow, not cadmium lemon. We're just kind of making a gold color there, and you'll see why when we get into our painting. There we go, just mix that up, mix it up. And we want just a touch that bright red. Not too much, but we want to make this a little bit orange. There we go. And put it right back down. There we go. There we go. Now we don't have it completely mixed together, but that's okay. It'll mix right on the canvas. So I'm just going to set this down. And we're going to come to just our 2-inch brush, a clean, dry 2-inch brush. So let's just load some of that up right on the brush there. Now we're going to come in, and right here is going to be probably our brightest spot. So we'll come and we'll put that in. Oh, you can see some of it may not have been mixed too well. But we just come down this way, right over here. Just bring that up into the sky. There we go. And it'll dull as it goes out. That's what it'll do. Now, I've got over this dark spot where I had that black gesso. The gesso dried. You can put down acrylic paints and oil on top. You can't do it the reverse. But we're doing a wet on wet technique. So once that dried, I did go back over it with some ivory black and some sap green, just to make it a little wet while we paint it. So just come over this way. There we go. Just giving that sky some color there. Oh, and I got into some of that black, but that's okay. We're going to have some dark clouds there. So if you do that, that's fine, as old Bob Ross the Blue used to say. Oh, we don't make mistakes, just happy accidents. Maybe a little more right over here. There we are. Now we'll go to some clouds. Let's put some clouds in our sky. Oh, let's see. Hot ones. All right. Now what we're going to do is we're just going to take a bit of our ivory black here. I'm just going to pop that up there. Oh, I should have grabbed my titanium white. I'll just grab that. We'll just grab a little bit of that with the palette knife and put it right up there. There we go. Let's just mix that together. We're looking for those gray type of clouds. There we are. Not too dark, not too dark. It's still, I don't want to say sunset, because we are in the year of the trees. Oh, yes, that's right. And we're not even in Middle-earth today. We're in Valinor. That's right. You might know it as, Into the West. That's right. That's where elves got off to. There we go. Just get some of that on there. Now it'll mix down as we put it on the canvas. We're just going to mix it in. Just put those in a circle. There we go. Just put that down. We'll have some more mountains that we put in back here as well. So. And you see that mixes, and the more you mix it, the lighter it'll get. We'll just put that into the corner. There we are. Just rolling that in. There we are. Just march those clouds across your sky. Come back, let's pick up a little more. Pick up a little more, and we're going to have some darker clouds over this way. There we go. These aren't dark clouds in the way that they have rain in them. You see, the light is back further and the clouds are closer. So we're getting the backside of these clouds. Oh, clouds, keep yourself decent. We don't want to look at your backside the whole time. Oh, that's okay. That's okay. And then why don't we come? Let's come. And we've got a clean, dry 2-inch brush. Just going to use the corner. We're just going to soften this out. Just going to soften those out some. There we go. Just leave the top of the cloud. Don't soften too much at the top. You'll have a little bit of a harder edge there. But what we're doing right now, we're just softening that out. There we go. All right, now you've got a little bit of color on that brush. What we're going to do is we're painting inside the Hobbit hole today, so we're not going to knock the scents out of the brush right there on the easel. We've got a rubbish bin. We're just going to, there we go, just knock that off down there. Now we're just going to lift these clouds. Just soften them up even more. Just lift those. There we go, like we're the wind. There we go. And you see that just kind of softens those out. And then just lightly come across. And you can see that quickly. We're getting a nice sky in there. Now we don't have as much color along these edges, but that's okay because we're going to come and we're going to put some mountains here and there. So you don't have to worry about that too much. You don't have to go right up to that mountain. No. But before we move on to do that, we do want a little bit more. Let's see. We're going to wash our brush. We have odorless paint thinner here in our bucket. Just scrubbing out that fan brush. Now we want to knock, well, usually we say beat the Sauron out of it, but we're a little bit before Sauron's time. That's right. Oh, it's Melkor. He's the villain here. He's the villain here. Because we're in the year of the trees. That's right. Even before the first age. Now we're gonna come to that golden color we did there, and you see we have a little dark color in there. That's on the clouds, but that's okay. So we're just going to highlight the bottom edge of these clouds. That's picking up some of that light. There we are, and we just mix that in. All right, there we go. Let's put some mountains in there now. So we've cleaned off our palette knife. And oh, let's see, this is a dark color over here. Maybe we'll mix that up for our mountain. We don't want it too dark, so we'll mix some of that gray in there. There we go. We still want that a dark, dark gray. All right, just pull that out. Now you're just gonna scrape across there. Get a little bead of that right on your palette knife. And then we're gonna make some mountains. We're gonna come up from right here. These are going off in the distance. And they get lost in the clouds there. So just pull that out. There we go. Now we're gonna pull that down. Oh, I got this brush here. It's a little dirty. I'm gonna wash it off. That's right. Normally we beat the Sauron out of it, but now we beat the Melkor out of it. Okay, and we come in here, and we're just going to pull this mountain down. Just pull it into the painting. That brush might be a little wet still. There we go. Just leaving that edge. Just pull them, and then we're just going to tap this out. We're just going to tap this out. Little bit of mist in there. Now we may have taken a little too much paint off of that, so just come in and we'll give it some edge still. But again, that's off in the distance. Now let's put another one of those in. Let's put another one. Just get some of that on there, and this guy is gonna come up. It'll come up from right about here. Maybe he comes back this way and then he juts up. There we go. And just pull him right into the painting, right down. Maybe we want it a little darker in there. Maybe a little darker. There we are. And just bring that out. There we go. Get lost in the clouds up there. There we are. We're just making this up as we go along. That's right. That's right. Let's go back to our palette knife. And we're going to do some more mountains. Some more mountains like that. We're going to come right on this side. Right on this side again. Now what we'll do is there's some mountains that come here. Right back, let's see, right back this way. There's some mountains, some hills and things. Back in here, just put that in. There we are. Okay, now we're coming to our liner brush. What we're going to do here is we're going to take this and we're going to make a very bright, almost white, just a touch of that yellow in there. Maybe even that was too much. Just come back, just put it off to the side and just work it around. There we go. There we are. So we're going to put this in. This is going to be some of our bright light. This is going to come right here. And what this is one of our trees. The trees of the Valar. Oh, look at that. Look at that. These were what gave light to the world before the sun and the moon. That's right. That is right. So right here. We just put this in. Now, if you know the story, I don't want to be an egg spoiler, but something bad happens to our trees. Oh, something bad. Just bring this down now. Picked up a little gray. You don't want that in there. This should be very close to our white as we can get. So as you pick up, you come down over some of that gray, you're going to pick it up. Just come back, grab a bit more titanium white, come right down with it, and there may be a branch coming out from it. There we go. There we go. But there were not just one, but there were two trees. We're going to go a little more yellow with this one, just to give it some separation here. Maybe even a little more. Just a tiny bit. Just put that up there. Just work it in. Work that into that golden color. Just that bright white gold. Load it up on your brush. Come back and we're going to put that right in here. And you see that gives you just a little separation between those trees. Come back, make it a little more gold. There we go. And now we're taking our time with these because these are very important to the story. The entire story of Middle-earth. That's right. A lot of it has to do with these trees. So they are very special. Very special indeed. There we are. And we just give that a little texture in there. And then the same, just bring that trunk down. Just picking up our color. We're going to put a little yellow ochre in there too. We're going to make that a little golden, a little more gold. That'll be the trunk that's right in front. There we go. We're going to take that and we're going to bring it right down here. I picked up some of that gray. We don't want that on there. We don't want that. Let's come back and just try and pick that up. And then we'll go back over that with that gold. Knock that off the brush. And then come here. So there was a lot of discussion today. When this painting or this image came out, a lot of people were talking about, what does it mean? What city is that? Who is in the picture? There we go. Right down this way. I keep doing that. I go into that gray and then I pick it up and I go back to my tree. I don't mean to do that. I'm just gonna come this way. There we go. There we go. Now, we're just gonna come up with a blue haze. And that is going to come on our tree back here. So lightly, lightly, we're just giving that shimmering blue on there. Come back to a little bit of white in case we made that a little too blue. We just go right over the top of that. That just gives us a little shimmer in there. And we give the tree some form. There we go. There we go. We have our two trees there. Now I realize we're taking quite a bit of time doing this. So let's come and let's put, we want a little bit of, there's a little bit of trees back here. So we're just going to take this small fan brush. Just come here and we're just going to just put some green in there. Maybe this is a lake here. Oh yes, maybe that's a little bit of a lake. Let's just clean off that little fan brush. Come back. There we are. And we're doing a lot of small little details here. Oh, we don't want our lake blue. Not a blue lake. It's not a blue sky. Not a blue sky. This is a sky at sunset, so we'll just come to that sunset color we had, and let's just put this in here. There we are. Wipe some of that off. Knock some of that color off your brush. Come in, just get a little bit of titanium white on there. And let's just dull that down. That water there. There we go. Now, we do want a bit of a reflection there. So we're going to put in our tree here. And then we'll come to our yellow. And we're going to put in our other tree. Right next to it, reflecting right in the water there. There we are. Now we clean off that brush and come back, and we're just going to pull this. Pull that there. Back and forth. There we go. Just gives us a bit of a reflection down there. All right. And we'll come back to, let's go with a dark green. Let's just take some blue. We're going to darken up this green here. There we go. And we're just going to put along the lake here. Oh, may have gotten a little too blue in there, but that's okay. We're just going to come up this way, just putting in some trees right here, right up our mountain. There we go. There we are. Just tap those in. And you can put some trees that have been covered by the mist back here. There we are. Now, let's come to this side. Let's work on that city a bit. Our time is running away from us. All right, so we've got our city here. Let's come and we'll just take some of that color from down here. Mix it in, there we go. Just get that city color. Now, we're just going to put in some of the shadow side of the city, and then we'll come and we'll highlight it, the other side. So, just get some on your knife there, and just follow the shapes that we have up here in these buildings. There we go. And this is a bit of a dome here. And we're just going to do this quickly. You can, if you want to do it, and you want to put in detail and detail, that's fine. That is fine. Just think about shapes that might be in this city. And if you want it to look like it's architecture, you use straight lines. There we go. You do things with straight lines. Now, we're doing this kind of quick, kind of on the fly. So you see our lines aren't exactly straight, but we just come and just pull that across on that tower. We'll do this tower here. He got kind of hidden. And use both sides of your palette knife. You got the shorter side here. We're just going to come and we're going to put, a bridge right here. There we go. Another one right down here. Give this bridge a bit of an archway. A lot of walkways and bridges and things in this city. Another one right down here. Just give it that arch. Come back and then we'll put this in right here. There we go. And we're probably going to run out of this pretty quick. And do a tower right in the middle of this bridge. Maybe there's some sort of guard tower. And we'll put this building back here. Still having it hid a bit in that fog. There we go. Now there's some debate on which city this might be, but I believe the consensus most of the Tolkien scholars, most of the people who know Tolkien much better than me, I believe they settled on that this may be the city of Tirion. There we go. And let's do, there's some archways on this bridge. Just using our palette knife here to make this city. If you want to do it with more detail, feel free. Feel free. Take your time. I'm just trying to show you how you just throw this down. Pull it down this way. Then maybe there's a tower right here. Another wall. And we need to mix up some more color here. Just bring that up. Grab some of that. Mix it in. All right. And let's just put this here. Now this city seems to have a lot of walls in it, just like Minas Tirith, or some other cities that we've seen. Gondolin, many of these famous cities. And then you can come back. As I said, once this dries, you can put a lot more detail in there. But we can just we don't know what we're doing. We're just putting things in. You can even, if you want, let's come to a brush. So if you don't want to use the palette knife the whole time, come to a brush, and maybe sometimes the brushes are a little more difficult to get those hard edges. And we're just making some buildings and things. Just putting all that in. There we go. And there we are. Like I said, you can come in and you can do all kinds of details, and you can use little palette knives and make different things. Let's go to a little more. Let's lighten that up a bit. We are awfully dark on this side. There we go. There we are. And sometimes I get a little quiet when I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to do. There we go. Now that we have some of that in there, let's put this guy here. Now let's highlight some of that with some of our sky color. Just the sky is hitting this side of the city. There we are. You got that light from the trees coming. You got that coming over. And you mainly want to do it just to this front part of the city. Just what's getting that light. And it darkens out as it gets back. There we go. Maybe he's catching a little light back here. right on this guy too. Maybe some of this, some of these rocks are catching that too. Just, there we go. Not too much, not too much. There we are. There we are. And maybe this guy back here. All right, now in our city, there is some bushes and things. So we'll see if we can add some greenery in here. I don't know if we can do that right, but it's a little dark. Let's brighten this green up. Just coming into some of our yellow here. We just want to thin that out a bit. There we go. Just put it on the corner of that brush, and let's just add. There we are. We'll just add in some green in our city. There we go. And just making that a light green. Maybe even pop in some white. There we go. That'll show up a little better. Now we just pop some of that in there. That way it looks like our city is filled with green plant life. There we go. Just coming right out of the growth there. And that gives our city some life. There we are. Just change up the colors here and there. Some a little lighter green, some a little brighter green. There we are. Now that green, that's pretty flat, that's pretty dull. So let's Just pop in there. Just give it some color over on that side. Right over there. There we go. And you're just tapping that in so you get it on the tip of the brush there. There we go. Now, on our mountain there, we want a little bit of rock still. So let's come in. Let's maybe give it some different tones. There we go. Some brown. Some of our gray in there. There we go. So let's just come up here and we'll give some rock right in there. And then alternate. We put the rock in and then we come to our vegetation. There we go. And change up that color a little. Go to some yellow ochre. You don't want to overdo it, but you just find a few spots. There we go. Now let's do the same with some rock on the other side. Oh, come in here. Just cleaning up our palette. Just using all kinds of different colors there. And we'll come and we're just going to bring this down. Maybe there's a big rock face there. Sticking right out. There we are. Let's come back. And let's do the same. And you just want to tap that on there. That gives you that appearance of individual bushes. Let's get some more green here. There we go. And we're just popping in some of that. That's just giving us different trees and things right down that side of the mountain. And then this is lighter, so let's go a little darker. Let's go with a little darker green right in front of that. Right there. That gives you some separation, some distance there. And don't fill in all the dark spots. Just come right there. There we go. Let's do some of those. Oh, getting a little crazy there. There we are. Now, there's some grassy area here, so let's come. Oh, I've got this brush. Wash it off a little bit. Now we're going to get a grassy color. And we're just going to fill this in real quick. Just bending that 2-inch brush on there. That's giving us the appearance of some grass. Whoops, didn't mean to do that. There we go. There we are. All right, now this is going to be some water down here. And I probably should have put the water in before I did that grass, but that's okay. I can come back and put grass over what I put down as water. So I'm just going to put some of this in right down here. Just taking this white, just going back and forth. I'm not filling it in completely, but we're just creating water this way. Now that I've put that in, what we want to do is we want to make some reflection down here. So going back to that, that green, that grassy color, that light green that we had, we're just going to put this in the water. And we're just going to pull it straight down. There we are. Now let's clean off that brush. And it doesn't quite look dark enough. We had some real dark in there. So let's give ourselves some spots where it would be dark. There we go. Now let's come back and just bring this down again. Oh, that's making a mess there. That's making a mess, but that's okay. That's okay. We're just going to take it this way and back this way. There we go. Not the perfect reflection, but we can come back if we want. We can put a little more of that light green back in there. Now, maybe. Now if we want to do this, so a little too much. A little too much. There we go. We're just getting that. Getting that in there. There we go. Now we're going to come back. Oh, Where's all our brushes going? Now we come back and just lightly pull it. There we go. That's the reflection that we were going for. Just one that would pick up those highlights. There we are. There we go. All right. Now we hadn't even really put in a tree yet. So let's mix up this brown here, just using some yellow ochre, our burnt umber, and let's just, this guy will just be we don't have to put every branch in there. Just be our tree that's hanging right out, right over here. And bring one right out. Right out over the water there. There we go. All right. Now let's go back to our 1-inch brush. Oh, there we are. And we're just going to come up. Just get a dark green, using our sap green, and we're just gonna just pop that in. Just pop some of those dark leaves. If you're picking up more paint than you're putting down, just rinse your brush, just get that a little thinner. There we go. A little more ink-like. And then we just pop that on. There we go. There we are. Now we just come back and let's highlight some of those. Just get that on there. And just putting some highlight. You just got to be careful you start mixing mud if you're too thick. And you might make it a little too thin too. There we go. All right. And now in the picture they released, they had a figure standing in there. And many thought that maybe it was Galadriel. Well, it'll be easier to put a figure in here when the paint dries a little more. So with these oil paints, doing this, you can put down a lot of detail very quickly. But what I found is sometimes if you're putting in a person or a hobbit or a dwarf or an elf, anything like that. It's a little easier if you let that dry and come back to it. So that's where we are. And maybe we want to make this grass a little lighter. Oh, my palette's getting to be a mess now. And let's just lighten up this grass. Just pop on some highlight there. There we go. All right. Well, there we go. As the show comes out, we'll have more and more places to paint. But for now, I just thought we'd put that down and you'd get to see what our first scene, what our first place is going to look like. A little bit as far as Timbo's rendition of it. All right. I appreciate you being here. I hope you have a good week. Goodbye and God bless.